All right, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you can hear my voice, clap 3 times. All right, class, so for today's social studies lesson, we're going to continue our unit on immigration. During today's lesson, we're going to have the chance to act in the role of immigrants coming to America for the very first time. So what are some experiences that you might have coming to America? Well, first, you'd have to leave your home country and as you come to America. So everyone wave goodbye. Pretend you're leaving your home country and you're waving goodbye. Say bye. All right, next, you'd have to embark in a long, treacherous journey on a ship. So everyone pretend you're rocking back and forth on a ship that's on rough seas. It was a long, scary trip. All right. And lastly, as you arrive to America, you're gonna be greeted by the beautiful sight of Lady Liberty. Everyone say, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. So these are some experiences that a lot of immigrants had coming to America. And we're gonna learn more about that today because in today's lesson, we're going to be writing letters and we're going to be pretending that we are the immigrants coming to America. We're going to be writing letters that look like this to our friends and family back home in our home country where we came from. All right, so today's lesson objective, what we're going to be focusing on today, what our goal is, everyone say our goal today is given a written prompt after reading the story, Dreaming of America, students will be able to write a letter in the role of an immigrant coming to America by following the rubric with 80% accuracy. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to give you a few things that I want you to include in your letters, right? And you're going to be pretending that you are the immigrants and you're going to be writing a letter. All right, some standards that we're going to be addressing today are going to be 2 language arts and 2 social studies standards. So we're going to be covering, we're going to be writing narratives that recount an event or a short sequence of events, and we're going to include details that describe actions, thoughts, feelings, details, and we are going to provide a sense of closure. So what does that mean? That means we're going to be writing a letter, we're going to be signing our name, we're going to be talking about our feelings. We're also going to recall information from experiences or gather information from provided sources to answer a question. So we're going to be reading a book today and we're going to be using the computer and reading some things on the computer. We are going to examine primary and secondary sources. I'm going to tell you all about that a little bit later. And we're going to identify reasons why people came to the United States. Why did they want to come here? What was so great about the United States that they traveled across a big ocean to come here to see? All right, so these are some things that we're going to be learning about today. But before we dive into the lesson, let's think about what we already know. Everyone take a moment and refer back to our unit vocabulary word wall. And let's go over some of those words and what they mean. So the words are immigration, Ellis Island, and Statue of Liberty. Who can raise their hand and tell me, what does the word immigrant mean? What does it mean to be an immigrant? I want everyone to take a moment and think. Think about the word immigrant. We've used that a lot in this unit so far. All right, what do you think? It means that you're not from this country, right? You came from a different country. All right. Very good. Ellis Island. Who could tell me what Ellis Island means? Who could define the word? It's a place. That is correct. It's a place. Do you want to offer a little bit more detail on that? You don't know? Okay, would you like to phone a friend? Awesome. Awesome. All right, so you said it's a place in New York that immigrants went to. It's one of the first places that immigrants went to. Very good. And Statue of Liberty. I have a photo for reference. This is her right here, also called Lady Liberty. Who wants to define the word Statue of Liberty? It's a statue, okay, that's correct. But do you want to offer a little bit more detail on it? What about the statue? What importance does it have? You don't know? Okay, do you want to phone a friend? All right. You said it's a symbol for America. That's right. It's a symbol for America. This is one of the first things, one of the first statues that people saw when they arrived to America. So people all over the world, when they saw the Statue of Liberty, it was a symbol of freedom and a symbol of America. Very good job, class. So I want you all to keep these words in mind as we go through our lesson today, because this is the main focus of our lesson as well, okay? So, today we're going to be starting off by reading the story Dreaming of America, an Ellis Island story by Eve Bunting. Who can tell me what they think the story is going to be about? It's okay, any guess is a good guess. All right, no wrong answers. What do you think it's about? We haven't read it yet, so we don't know, right? But what do we think? It's called Dreaming of America. I want everyone to take a moment, look at the picture, think about it. You think it's about a dream. Okay, that's a good guess. Anyone else? You think it's about Ellis Island? All right. You think it's about coming to America? Very good guesses. Well, we're going to have to read the story to find out, won't we? All right, class. Now, I want everyone to take a moment and take a look at the illustrations on the front cover. Illustrations means the pictures on the front cover. What do we notice? There's people, all right? Yeah, there is people, and there's people all different ages, right? Young people, old people, there's a baby over there. What else do we notice? There's birds, that's right, there is birds. Anyone else? There's the Statue of Liberty in the background, that's right. Can everyone see that way in the back there? There's the Statue of Liberty. All right, everyone. But we know what the Statue of Liberty is, right? So we can get an idea of maybe what the story is going to be about now. Yeah? All right. So I'm going to read the story out loud for everyone, and then we're going to answer some questions afterwards, okay? Dreaming of America, an Ellis Island story by Eve Bunting. All right, class, we just finished the story. I want everyone to put their thinking caps on, and we are going to think and reflect. Everyone say think and reflect. Think and reflect. All right, so let's think and reflect on the story. Annie Moore, who was the main character of the story, what are some challenges that she faced on her journey? What are some things that were hard for her, that upset her? What are some challenges that she had to overcome? She was scared, very good. She was hungry, and she did mention she was hungry. There wasn't a lot to eat. And she missed her family. Very good point, everyone, that's right. And what were some things that made Annie happy during her journey? What was something that gave her happiness while she was on the boat during her journey? Anyone? No one knows? Okay, well, let's think back to the story. So when Annie was on the story, she was feeling really sad, right? But she had one thing from back home that she was allowed to open on her birthday, and that was a present, right? And the present came with a letter from her aunt. And she read the story, she read the letter, excuse me, and she got really happy, right? That's something that brought her happiness. So a lot of the times when immigrants came to this country and they were feeling homesick, they missed their friends back home, maybe some of their family members, they wrote letters, which is what you all are going to be doing today, to make them feel happier, make them feel better. All right, so keep that in mind as we read some more letters. So actually, I have a secret to tell you all. Do you all want to hear the secret? Okay, so I need everyone to listen very carefully. I want you all to put your hands on your ears because this is a very, very important secret. So the story that we just read is actually called a historical fiction. And that means that the story was true and it happened in real life. Annie Moore was a real life person, and she was actually the first immigrant to ever enter through Ellis Island in 1892. Everyone say, wow, wow! Moore and her journey, I'm actually going to pull up an online module on the overhead projector, and I'm going to read it aloud for everyone, and that's going to give us a little bit more information on Annie Moore and her journey at Ellis Island. The first immigrant landed on Ellis Island January 1st, 1892. When 15-year-old Annie Moore arrived here in Ireland on this day in 1892, she was the first person to enter in the United States through Ellis Island. As the boat she was on drew closer to her new home, she must have seen the Statue of Liberty, whose torch rises 305 feet above waters in New York Harbor. The statue is on an island next to Ellis Island. Can you guess how many people entered the United States through Ellis Island? Who could raise their hand and take a guess? How many people do you think came through Ellis Island? 500? Maybe. Let's find out. More than 12 million people entered the United States through Ellis Island Immigration Center from 1892 to 1954. For 62 years, people came from Ellis Island from around the world because they wanted to become American citizens. After the boats docked, immigrants would disembark and walk into the registry room, where they would see doctors who would check to see if they had any physical problems, and officers who would look over their legal documents. Once they were given the okay to enter, the immigrants were allowed onto the United States. Were there any other ways into the U.S. at this time? Can anyone think? Were there any other ways? Nobody knows? Okay, that's fine. We're going to find out. Nearly half of all Americans have ancestors who came here through Ellis Island, but this was only one of many ports of entry from ships. Some others were Philadelphia, Boston, and Baltimore. Ask someone in your family about how your grandparents or great-grandparents came to this country. If your ancestors came from Canada or Mexico, how did they enter America? Does anyone know about their family history and how their grandma, grandpa, mom, dad, or yourself came to this country and would want to share their family history? Does anyone know? Your family came from Mexico? Okay. Your family came from Honduras? Okay. Your family came from Germany? Okay, so that's all about your family history. So something I want you all to think about is when you go home, maybe ask your family members, hey, how did we get here? Was I born here? Were you born here? Was grandma and grandpa born here? So think about it. Ask these questions because these are all really good things to know. So class, we all did a very good job on the lesson so far. Now we are going to do some collaborative work with our buddies. Our next part of the lesson is going to be reading some real letters from immigrants back in the 1800s. So I want you all to partner read these letters. I want you all to collect your laptop computers. I'm going to call you by row number, and you're going to sit with your buddy, and I'm going to model for you all how to pull up the online resource where the letters are found. Now that we've all transitioned very smoothly back into our seats, I'm going to model for you all on the overhead projector how to pull up the online resource. All right, now that everyone has it pulled up, everyone has thumbs up, we are all okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to read the first letter out loud. Now, as I read it out loud, I want you all to look for some things. And these are all things that I want you to keep in mind for your own letters when you write your own letters. So those things are the date that the letter was written, who the letter is addressed to, who the letter is signed by, why did he or she come to America, and what was their journey like? So these are all things that I'm going to identify for you as I read the first one aloud, but as you all read with your partners the rest of the letters, I want you to keep these in mind too, because these are all ideas that you all could be getting for your own letters, okay? So the first letter is dated April 26, 1891, and it is addressed to dearly beloved parents. So this is someone writing a letter to their parents. I take my pen and tell you the good news. I am safe and sound, thank God. I received your letter on the 24th of the month, in which I learned that my sister, Mariana, wants to come here. Well, it's good sailing time now. Dear sister, please do be careful on the streets. Dear parents, write me if Mary took my address, if she will come to me or not. And when my sister will depart, write a letter as soon as possible. Best regards to father and mother, to my sister and brothers, to my friends and relatives, and all the acquaintances. I remain your faithful son until we meet again happily. Please send a speedy reply. Jonathan Bonkowiski. All right, class. So, as you all read these letters, I want you to keep these things in mind, and we're going to talk about them once you are all finished. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes to give you all a chance to read. If you have any questions or you need any help, just raise your hand, okay? All right, 15 minutes is up. Now I want everyone to put on their thinking caps. Everyone put them on. Put on your thinking caps. We're going to do some reflection. All right, class? So I'm going you all to refer back to the letters that you just read. And I want you to reference back to the things that I want you to look out for. The date of the letter, who the letter is addressed to, who the letter is signed by, why did he or she come to America, and what was their journey like. Who could, with your buddies, share out with the class what are some details that you found in your letters? Okay, very good. Very good. Very good. I think we are all on the right track. Awesome job, guys. So I actually wrote an example letter for you all today. And I wrote this example letter following all of the criteria that I want you guys to use for your letters. Now, it's very similar criteria to what I wanted you to look for in the other ones, because that is what you were getting your inspiration from. But this rubric I'm going to pass around for everyone, and it includes some of the following. I want you to include the date. I want you to include who you are writing the letter to. I want you to include why did you come to America? What was your journey like? How did you feel? And I want you to close the letter by signing your name. I also want you all to have correct punctuation, capitalization. I want your letter to be at least 10 sentences. Everyone holds up the number 10 for me. That's how many sentences that I want in your letter, okay? All right, so I'm going to read you all my example letter, and I'm going to post it on the overhead projector for you all to see as well. March 10, 1892, that is the date. Dear my best friend Jane, that is who I addressed the letter to. After what felt like an eternity, me and my family finally arrived in America. New York is a lot different than life back home in Italy. I miss my friends and my toys. The journey here was scary. Some days, the ocean was so rough that it made me feel dizzy. I'm glad my mom and dad were with me. Dad found a job here in New York in the lumber yard, and Mom said I can help her sew dresses for 5 cents a week. Remember, in it I included how I felt, right? I was scared, They said we moved here so Mom and Dad can make more money and buy land of their own someday. That is why we moved to America. I'm nervous to make new friends, but there are a lot of kids my age here. I will write you again soon. Best regards, Emerald. And I close the letter by signing my name. So this is the criteria that I want you all to follow. I want you to follow these 6 steps and the rubric, which is correct capitalization, punctuation, right? And how many sentences do I want? Show up with your hands. How many sentences? 10, that's right. Good job, everyone. All right, class, so I'm going to give you all 15 minutes to independently write your letters. I'm going to pass out the materials for you all. I want you all to be using blank pieces of construction paper, okay? And if you have any questions or you need any assistance, what's our #1 rule? What are we gonna do? Show me. That's right, we're gonna raise our hand. Good job, everyone. All right, 15 minutes is up. I walked around the room, I observed, we are all doing a very good job on our letters. Now I want you all to pair up with your buddies and I want you to peer review. Remember, what is it that we do during peer review time? We trade our papers, it's step #1. Step #2 is we're going to read our partner's paper. And step #3, I want you all to refer back to your rubrics. I want you to check off, what did your buddy do? What could your buddy add? All right, everyone, so I'm gonna give you all 5 minutes to do that, and I'm going to set the timer. Beep, beep, beep. All right, class. All right, class. So you all had an opportunity to peer review each other's papers. And now I want you all to share out with the class. Raise your hand and share out. What were some things that you liked about your buddy's paper? What were some of your favorite sentences that your buddy said in their papers? Very good. Very good. You all did a really good job in encouraging your buddies. You all seem like you did a really good job on your work. All right, class. Now, I'm going to pass out some more materials, and these materials are going to make your paper look dated and worn. Now, I'm going to hand you all scissors, but I don't want you all cutting up your paper. I simply want you cutting it around the edges to make it look worn. I don't want the words cut off, I just want the edges cut off. I'm also going to give you all damp tea bags, which is going to make your paper give that yellow brownish color that makes it look old, right? And I also want you all to slightly wear your paper. So I just want you to crumple it a little bit, very little bit, because I still want it to be legible because I need to grade it. And that is going to make your paper look like it is from the 1800s, all right? So I'm gonna give you all 5 minutes to do that. And I want you to help your buddies out if you need help. Raise your hand if you need my help. Okay, everyone? 5 minutes is up. Everyone's papers look awesome. And now we are going to review the lesson. So I want everyone to get out your individual whiteboards. All right? I'm gonna ask you all some questions. I want you all to look back at your letter. Reflect and think. Can you compare your letter to a letter that was written by either Annie Moore or one of the immigrants that you read from your online resource? And when I say I want you to compare your letters, that means I want you to think what is the same about your letters. All right, what are some details that were the same? Did you get any ideas from that letter? Did you follow any of the criteria about their feelings, about why they came to America, about what their home country was? All right, I want you to compare, think back. I want everyone to take a moment. I'm gonna give everyone 2 minutes to reflect and write their response on their whiteboards. And when I give the instruction, I want everyone to hold them up, okay? And go. All right. Good job, everyone. Wow, I think we are all on the right track. We all did a very good job on that. So lastly, I want you all to add your letters into your unit portfolio. Your unit portfolio is going to be graded at the end of the unit. All right, and I want you to attach your rubrics to it as well. And if you all feel like you need a little bit of extra time to work on that, you can do so during silent reading time. Okay? Good job, everyone.